All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. Base Bunny, thank you for the 5x5. Busy, Tom Tom, Bush Pig, thank you for the 5x5. One day I'll figure it out. Let's see. Dan Phillips, thank you for the 5x5. Let's go. All right. Eric, Elaine, thank you for the 5x5. Maria Highlander, thank you for the 5x5. Flown Grown, Kathy, Buffalo, Robert, Watchman, thank you for the 5x5. One, Loretta, Dobie, Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Mr. Landfill, thank you for the 5x5. Lori, thank you for the 5x5. Toto, Lynn, thank you for the 5x5. Common, Okie, Mitch, Jeep, Ed, Cowboy, thank you for the 5x5. Trapper Bob, Joe, thank you for the 5x5. Robert, Krista, Standalone, The Watchman, Silent Guard, thank you for the 5x5. Supernova, Caribbean, Bitter, thank you for the 5x5. Beef and Chicken, City Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Johnny, thank you for the 5x5. Prep to Adapt, Maria Jackson, thank you for the 5x5 on Rumble. Appreciate it. All right, all right, all right. All right, guys. So tonight we're going to talk about, obviously, not obviously, but we watched what happened in Australia. We watched what happened in Rhode Island. And so I think we might start seeing more of these kinds of situations or incidents, if you will. Planned attacks, whatever you want to call them, psych ops, ultra, what is it, MK Ultra, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be seeing a lot of that. Again, I'll say it now. However it's set up, it's probably going to be irrelevant until we can actually stop it or have somebody be accountable for a lot of these things that seem to be set up. Some of them don't. Some of them seem to be organic, but it doesn't matter. All we need to do is stay ready for whatever happens next. Obviously, I'm going to talk about what's going on tonight. I did see a video on X, and in the video, the guy was saying how Candace Owens a couple weeks ago stated that there was going to be a 9/11 style attack, and I do not categorize neither of those as a 9/11 style attack. Now, to the smaller person who's not addicted to chaos, not addicted, but is not used to being in a chaotic situation, or even what 9/11 is, being that he compared those two events to a 9/11 style attack. I'm like, not even close. 9/11 style attack is just that. That's something that's going to there's going to be a lot of casualties. There's going to be a lot of chaos. And then listen, I don't even think it's going to be 9/11 style. I think it's going to be something grand. 9/11 style would be, again, maybe two planes or four or five, that kind of shit. Not people on ground with, rifles. And it would be a Mumbai style attack, yes, not a 9/11 style. Those are two totally different incidents that happened. So anyway, so one guy was just like praising her for, um, he was praising her for predicting this, and I'm like, it's not even close, friend. I mean, like, I wouldn't expect somebody like that to understand the difference. Nonetheless, it's not anything that's going to be related or that comes close, excuse me, to what happened in 9/11. I think is going to be on a grand scale. It's going to be nationwide, and it's definitely going to, again, scare a lot of people if something like that happens. Until that does happen, I'm not worried. Listen, I'm not worried about any of it. I read something very interesting, and I didn't know why my brain did this, but apparently, since I was a child, I've always put myself in the worst case scenarios. I don't know if that's because I grew up in the 80s and almost every day there were talks of fires in the city every day, or just about anyway. And the amount of fires that happened in New York City, there used to be a phrase called the Bronx is burning, right? Because there were like multiple fires a day. throughout the entire Bronx, and even in Manhattan, where I lived up here in the Heights. And so, again, on the news, you would hear this person passed away here, that person passed away, this many people passed away in this fire. So I, as a child, put together a bug out bag. That was my first bug out. I actually found it a couple of years ago in the closet in the room behind me, and in there I had toys. You know, that was my like, that was my big, that was my thing. That was my packing my stuff away, because I wanted to take stuff with me if there was a fire, right? And it was my toys. My mother said she would take her photo albums, and then you've seen that in those day and ages where mothers would run out of the house back in the like 1800s or 1700s. They would take photo albums with them, or rather the 18 and 1900s, they would take photo albums with them. Anyway, all that to say, guys, is that these things that happen, or the way my brain functions now, I guess from childhood to now, I think of the worst case scenario that can ever happen. I do it at fires, not at fires, but I do it before. Um, I do it before fires, right? I think of the worst case scenario. What happens if I'm trapped in this room? Can I go through the wall? Can I go through the floor? You know, am I going to bail out of the window? And I think most firefighters do this. We put ourselves in the worst case scenario so that when it happens, we know how to deal with it and we don't flip out, and we start thinking in terms of how we getting out of the situation instead of screaming, yelling, and carrying on, right? So again, you know, and so I read something today that they said that's what Spartans train their kids. It's a 13-year program. Again, I don't know how true that is. But it was a 13-year program that they trained Spartan kids to be warriors, and they purposely put them in the most screwed situations that they could, at least in their heads, not in real time, but in their heads. And they told them to they trained them, excuse me, to know what it's like to be there. So they exposed them to the cold, in the rain. They had them train in the rain, be cold, and the whole 9 yards. Um, Robert, thank you for the donations. So my brain has been training that way since I was a child. So when certain things happen, I don't react the same way as a normal person. Most firefighters and police officers, and even EMTs, we don't respond the same way as the average person because we think of the worst case scenario. And that's how you train your brain and you train yourself and your person. You constantly come up with problems and you try to think of solutions. So anyway, that I say all of that to say that certain people will look at certain situations and they will think that situation is way bigger than it really is, and it isn't. So calling those two attacks, the Bondi Beach attack and the Brown University attack, 9/11 style attack, way over the top, right? I mean, like that's not even close. But yeah, so again, that's a lot. I said all of that to say you need to train your brain psychologically as well, so that you don't start flipping out at the word go. And a lot of people do. I watch people panic over bullshit. Again, Robert, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. So a lot of people have to train their brain in that manner because, like I said, I've watched people like in EMS. I watched people. Not I wasn't even EMS when this happened. I was in fire, and I might have had 5 years, 5 6 years on, maybe 7 at the time. And this there was a fire in a bedroom. It was in a brownstone. So guys are going in, and there's these two gay dudes screaming and yelling on the outside, screaming and yelling. And I'm looking at them, and I'm looking in the apartment, and I'm trying to put two and two together, right? I'm like, why are they screaming like this? And they're like carrying on like some bitches, man. They're like screaming. I'm like, so I'm looking inside, like I'm thinking somebody's stuck in there. I'm like, is somebody still inside? And the guy shrieks at me, going, "No!" I'm like, then shut the fuck up. And then they were like, and then they stopped. Like I don't know why they were screaming and yelling. It was so fucking bizarre. It was the most bizarre shit I've ever seen. I've watched people get a cut that needs stitches and thought they were dying. I was like, because these people don't think this is going to happen to them, and when it does, they flip out. So yeah, and I see this all the time. James, I don't know what they were screaming about. It was bad. It was just, and everybody was looking at them. That was a crazy shit. Other firefighters are walking past them, looking at them. People standing on the sidewalk are staring at them. Like everybody's looking at them. Like, why the fuck are they yelling? So I let them have it. It was uncalled for. And then again, you just see people overreact. You see Spanish dudes, grown ass men, Spanish men in their 40s, their 30s, their 20s, crying and carrying on because they got the flu. They're in that corner like, "Ay, mommy," you know. They're like, "What?" You know, and they're calling for their mother, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Again, this is people who don't know how to react, I guess, or don't think worst case scenario, and when it happens to them, they flip out or they just act like real bitches. I don't know, but it was annoying. It's annoying to watch grown men fucking cry like that. Grown men crying for their mommies. I'm like, what? This isn't war. You're not dying. Why are you crying for your mother? I remember one guy was crying for his mother, and his fucking wife or girlfriend was staring at him like, and she looked at me with a look of disgust. She was like, she looked at him, she looked at me, she goes, I go, you married him, you know? It was embarrassing. And if your wife looks at the EMT and goes, that's embarrassing. The FBI, yes, this is my FBI hat. Listen, you guys are bitching and moaning about my other hat being old and dirty. Now I got a new hat, and you guys are like, I don't like the new hat. Make up your minds, you sacks of shit. You can't have it all. You can't have it both ways, ladies and gentlemen. You deal with it or you don't. Sorry. So I did this shit like a half hour ago. Oh, someone said if I had a boyfriend who cried with his mom, I'd be out. Yo, it was bad. It was bad. It's funny talking about crying men. My listen, it's okay to cry in private, but my son's mother, my second son, his mother, she told me she dated a guy who cried when his cat died. Actually, no, worse. His cat had been dead when they got together, and I think it was like the anniversary of the cat passing away. And she said that he was like crying unconsolably on the anniversary of the year the cat passed away, the month of the day the cat passed away. And she said, red flag. I'm like, you didn't leave him right then and there? She goes, no, because I sort of felt bad for him, but I should have took that as a red flag. I'm like, you should have. I would have been gone. Any chick that's carrying on about their cat dying or out, get the fuck out. We're not doing this. But Ed Lee, you can get hats like this at where the fuck is that? What's that hat store? That name brand hat store that they do embroidery. They have those blank. You just get them blank. This is the Flex Fit. Look up Flex Fit on Amazon. They have a ton of blank hats. Speaking about blank hats, we're going to talk about the Mr. 19 arm ticket on the Angry Truth. How more information is coming out about this. In fact, there is one story I'm going to talk about again that is now making more sense that people are getting sick. And this doctor or professor, excuse me, scientist, went on to state why they're seeing a lot of people get sick. Lids, thank you, Kathy. Lids. That's it. That's the only hat store I know. The Watchman. It has to be you, man. It seems like you get blocked everywhere you go, except here. I enjoy the bantering and shit. But listen, other channels can't handle the bantering. You guys got to understand that shit. What you guys can say here, you can't say in another channel. Because other channels just have vaginas. Or their estrogen's high for the day. Whatever it is. Some of them just want to keep it family friendly. So whatever you guys say in here, you can't say on somebody else's channel. You know, I'm sorry. It could be that time of the month for some of these guys. Again, some of these guys can want it family friendly. It is what it is. I do not give a shit. But you know, that it is what it is, guys. You got to behave yourself on other channels. I have to behave myself sometimes on other channels. So if I have to fucking behave, so do you. Let's make some close approach. Friday, Steven Spielberg's dropped the trailer for Yes, Disclosure Day. That trailer looked really good, by the way. Disclosure Day is a trailer about aliens either coming or people, the United States or the world being revealed that they were aliens. Um, Bamboozled said, I finally made a live stream. But yes, the Spielberg came out with a movie called Disclosure Day, so that should be really good. The trailer's on YouTube. You can also trailer what's the other one? Supergirl. If you guys are into DC comic shit, Supergirl seems to be okay. But anyway. Uh, Carly, yes. To be fair, you are right. After 9 o'clock, it's like Negro time. It's time to talk your shit. You are right. It should be family friendly. Should be up to 9 o'clock, and at 9:01, let the fucking let the curse words and the fuck shit pits fly. Right? You're right about that. Um, that is true. But I know other people they just don't like cursing. Guys are like cursing is a sign of a lack of intelligence. Shut up, twat monster. No, it's not. And like when women say that shit, like one woman was tearing me apart or trying to tear me apart. She actually did on Alaskan Prepper's channel like 2 years ago. She was tearing into me. She's like, I don't like him. He curses. There's something wrong with him. He's a bad man. I'm like, meanwhile, this chick is probably fingering her kids at night because she's a fucking lunatic. But meanwhile, I curse and I'm the devil's son. I'm like, I with the cursing shit. When certain people are like, cursing is bad. You're a monster. I'm like, wait, what? I just said fuck, man. I didn't say anything else. But it's normally those people who like don't like curse words are the ones who do way worse, behind closed doors. But anyway, that's just someone said DC Comics didn't turn gay; they've always been gay. Yeah, fair enough. Except for Batman and Superman and the Flash and Wonder Woman, they were all right. Uh, yeah, Kristen. Again, these are people on other channels. I mean, this lady was tearing into me, and even and Alaskan Prepper apologized for it. I'm like, listen, it is what it is. I don't get bent out of shape about it. I get that people don't like cursing, but to take it to a level of me being the devil, all right, it is what it is. You got to vent your frustration. And like I said, she was people. There are channels out there, man. Like you curse one time, like, oh my god, the potty mouth, and then they leave. I'm like these people would melt if they came to the city. They would melt. The some of the shit that you hear out here, they think my cursing is bad. I'm just warming your ears up for what you're gonna hear if you come to the city. You know. Anyway, so guys, tonight we're gonna start with this. Okay, so I saw this in the news, or rather, no, I saw it online. I didn't see this in the news, but apparently the House passed a $900 billion military spending bill, and people went on to say that Ukraine got 800 million and Israel got 692 million. Except for I couldn't find that anywhere in any of the articles I read, and I only read three, so maybe I missed one or two. But I didn't see that anywhere. But that was what people were griping about. Now, this bill absolutely, the one good thing about the bill is that service members, which they should have gotten more, they're getting a 3.8% raise. So that's all military across the board. Problem is, channels don't do much research when they pick moderators. The Watchmen. Fair enough. And yes, The Watchmen. Here's the thing about moderators. A lot of the moderators I've never met, with the exception of Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, and Rick, who I talk to on a daily, and then Sarita, who I talk to. Those are possibly the three I know. Jean, I've talked to her via email, and everybody else, you got to take like, you're taking a chance. Basically, you're taking a chance with these people. So yeah, I mean, unless you know them personally, it's hard to meet up with these people, especially if they live in Kansas. So this is what it is. I have moderators on here that haven't been on here in a while. I'll look at it. I'm like, they haven't been on in a year. I kick them off. No, nothing personal. It's just that if they're not, on here helping out, then they can't. Then what is it for? So, yeah, you have to. It is what it is. And other moderators, they're like, oh man, people like me. I'm very, very wary of who I pick because I've heard horror stories of people picking moderators and moderators fucking kaboom right in the ass. Like one moderator, I forgot whose channel it was. The guy gave the moderator access to the channel, and the moderator locked the creator out of the channel. So yeah, no dice, no dice. And then listen, I don't think or Adriana for that matter. I've met her in person as well. So she's another reason why she would be a moderator because I met her in person. And these are good people, but like a complete stranger, I mean, like, let's say, for example, if I had to pick a moderator today, I would say like Johnny 308 would definitely be one of them, or Senorita 80, because those two that I can mention off the top of my head, they've been with the channel for a long time, right? But again, that's just it's just it sucks. It sucks when you pick moderators you never met. You don't know what their intentions are. So I got to be a little more. So when you pick a moderator for your channel, you got to be careful because some moderators are fucking like, yo, they're fast and loose with that block button. I mean, listen, there's a ton of you guys that have been on here for years, right? That I could tell. For a bit. The Watchman's been on here for a while. Jason's been on here for a while. Franny's been on here for a while. Beef and Chicken about a year or two. A lot of people have been on here for a while. So, Mr. Landfill's another one. Mr. Landfill's always here, right? So again, a lot of you guys have been here for a while. So, I'm not saying I'm gonna make everybody a moderator. I'm just saying, these are people I know and have been here since the beginning. Their intentions to screw this channel over. If you've been here this long, Patty S is another one. Right, Patty's been here. Brian's been here for a while. But yeah. So again, like I said, there are other channels, man. When they have moderators come on, man, some moderators are just like I say, they're fast and loose. They're like block, what you call timeout block. I'm like, oh my god. So again, it happens. But getting locked out of your channel, ooh, that's bad news, man. That's bad news all the way around. I mean, listen, to be fair, you can get hacked into your shit and then they can lock you out of your channel. And that has happened. It happened to Autumn Backyard Garden. PAEMT, he's been here for a while. Uptech Extreme, another one for a while. But yeah, you just got to be careful who you pick. And you got to be careful of the emails you open up if you have a channel. You have to be careful. Your emails should not link to your YouTube channel. That is why I changed my email to Angryprepper at Yahoo. It's not connected to the channel at all. That's the only one I give out now. Listen, some people, when they have a channel, they're just happy to have a channel. They're like, people like me. I want you to be my moderator. You to be my moderator. I'm like, my God, dude, relax. You sound retarded. You can't make everybody a moderator, Really, Watchman, I didn't know that. The executive moderator can make other moderators and yes, you're right about that. They can do that. Again, I don't know why other people would do that, but I heard some nightmare stories with moderators. I'm like, holy shit, why would they do that? It's like a kick in the teeth when you do that. Destroy somebody's channel. Anyway, guys. So sorry for the sidetrack. But a GOP issued a summary of legislation says that the NDAA authorized a $291 billion for maintenance and operations, $234 billion for military personnel and health care. That's a good one. $162 billion for procurement. Not sure procurement of what. I guess military. Because this is all defense funds, so I guess that would make sense. $146 billion for research and development. What are they researching and developing for $146 billion? $34 billion for nuclear defense program and $20 billion for military construction and family housing. Now, again, nowhere in this article I read, and this was from Military Times, nowhere in that article did they mention anything about Ukraine or Israel getting any money. And though $692 million and $800 million is that's a little over that's over $1 billion, but they look like they told us where the $900 billion went. Betty said pinball censored me. Johnny threw away. Pinball blocked anyone who questions his rationality. Yeah, I guess. I listen. Johnny threw away. That's what I've been hearing. I mean, you guys will break my balls, correct me all the time, so that's fine. I don't care. Shit like that. Listen. I don't have the capacity or the care to block people to that extent. I really don't. I don't understand that. Like, oh my God, you disagree with me? Blocked. Doesn't make sense. It's actually childish, if you ask me. Blocking people because you disagree with them, that's childish. You're supposed to have people on here breaking your fucking balls. If you don't, then it becomes an echo chamber, right? And an echo chamber then in turn becomes a cult. Just ask Jim Jones. Anyway, so lawmakers, what they cut from the bill or save taxpayers nearly $20 billion, including $40 million from eliminating DEI activities, $1.6 billion cut to climate change-related spending, $1.2 billion from retiring obsolete aircrafts and ships, $6.8 billion from reduction of unnecessary Pentagon bureaucracy. Interesting. $5.5 billion cut to consulting and service contracts. There's been a lot of that bullshit going on. And $3.7 billion cuts to insufficient defense programs. That's probably stupid fucking, doesn't work. James, thank you for the donation. How long have I been a dub? James, escape, I guess a while. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you exactly how. I know you've been here for a little bit. I wouldn't say longer than 2-3 years, though. My post disappeared right in front of my eyes. I left. Again, guys, other channels, you got to behave yourself. I can't speak for them, but a lot of people say the same shit. Yeah, that the whole, staunch, Trump supporting thing, I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't understand why anybody would blindly follow any politician to that point. I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Sorry. Prepper Nurse 1 is one of the worst. Smoky Blazer. I guess, like I said, I haven't been on these people's channels in a while. Plus I have my own bullshit going on. So, that's why I'm not frequenting. I should be going back on just to see what's going on, what's being said. But like today, for example, I was locked into my photography business all day today, doing food photography. So I've been dealing with that shit and writing the show out. Been keeping busy. Beef and chicken. Yeah, it's funny what you guys can remember, and it's funny what I can't remember. It sucks. Like beef and chicken brought up the Pride Month rant from last year. I could barely remember what I said in that. Streetwise, I think I have a feeling Candace is going to start backpedaling soon. Okay, that was good. That was interesting. Yardbirds is another one that's been here for a while. PAEMT has been here for a while too, a long while actually. Food photography, yes, PAEMT, food photography. Food doesn't talk back to you, right? Models are a pain in the ass. Though I am trying to shoot with two models, both of them in the boudoir industry, but food doesn't talk back to you. Neither does real estate photography. The room doesn't speak, right? Models, on the other hand, can I get this? Can I do that? Can I get this? Shut up. Shut up. Hudson Valley, exactly, man. Hudson Valley, yeah. Listen, it's there's a lot of people out there that are going to get a lot of people hurt. Um, but yeah, shit. Chef talks back. The chef talks back. Yeah, but I mean, this is shit that I'm doing in my house. Like for tonight, I'm doing coffee. Right, I'm going backwards. I'm working. I'm perfecting my skill by going backwards and doing easier shots. I'm doing coffee for the next week or two, or coffee shots for the next week or two. Then the next week after that, I work on soups, right, or cupcakes. So I have to work outside of my comfort zone to be a better photographer, right? So if that means I have to do like the gay shit, cupcakes and cakes and shit like that, so be it. You're only going to become better once you are outside of your comfort zone. If you stay within your comfort zone in training, you're never going to get better, ever. Susan, I'm still doing the Angry Film Channel. I think this Sunday I should be good to go with an um, Angry Truth live stream. I should be ready to rock this week. Yes, Sunday night I should be good. We're gonna do. We're actually gonna talk about Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not. That is the great debate of the 2000s, if you will. Die Hard being a Christmas movie or not. That is my favorite debate. I love it. I love it because I love it when people say it's not a Christmas movie. I'm like, fuck you, dude. Eat a dick. But anyway, not the point. Yes, so that's my thing. Been working on photography. I need to come up with a different way to make money. I love the YouTube channel shit, but it's not going to be here forever. I just have this bad feeling something's going to happen to YouTube. It's just a feeling that I've been having for the last couple of years. So yeah, but anyway, on with this shit. So all right, guys. So anyway, out of all of that, okay, so $400 million is going for Ukraine security assistance. But again, the one person wrote 800 million, so I didn't see 800 million. I saw 400 million. Excuse me. Um, they're also fully funding. There's full funding going towards the Taiwan Security Corporation initiative. That's about $1 billion, and then $1.5 billion in new security assistance for the Philippines. So right there's $2 billion going out between Taiwan and the Philippines. $400 million going to Ukraine. Nothing about Israel in anything I wrote. Right. So when I said that there was nothing in Ukraine, I meant not 800 million, only four. Um, and who knows where that's going. But again, guys, it's all bullshit. Carly, so I'm taking a food photography course, and the lady was asking, she's giving directions on making cookies so that I can shoot them, pictures. I mean, so I'm gonna do those cookies this week, and then tell you guys all about it. But anyway, not the point. Sorry. Grateful prep. Grateful Prep, it is blindly, and he's not doing a good job. He turned, listen, the fact, Grateful Prep, that again, you're still following this man after he called MAGA weak and stupid and called the Epstein file a hoax, that's a problem. That is a major problem. That's not a good job. I don't care if he sends me a $3,000 check next week. That's a fucking problem. Calling your own MAGA based following weak and stupid. I'm sorry, but anybody who's still kissing Trump's dick needs to pull it out of his mouth. Seriously. Enough with kissing his dick on the side. Let's go. The cookies are going to be chocolate chip cookies. So let's see how well I fucked that up. Anyway. So, guys. Cookies are better than Spam. I could make Spam cookies with bits of Spam in it. No, just kidding. Actually, it's a bad idea. Now that I said that, some asshole's going to try to make it. All right, guys. So, here's the issue. That was just sort of an update on what was going on with the defense fund. The $900 billion passed. Where the fuck are they getting this money from? They're just printing it. Tax-paying dollars are absolutely going to go towards it as well, but they seem to be printing money out of thin fucking air. So, again, that was just an update on what's going on with our fucking money in the government and the bullshit that they're doing with our money. It's insanity, what they're doing with the money. And, again, people like Trump's doing a great job. No, he isn't. He is not doing a great job. Sorry. There's just a lot of shit that he's also doing behind it. That shit with Saudi Arabia and the plane and the deal with them, that's a good job. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking he is selling us to the highest bidder. Food porn channel coming. Yeah, man. Food porn pick? Probably. We'll see. It'll be on my Angry Lensman channel. I also have a food photography Instagram page. When I start updating that, I'll start sharing it. But I'm not sharing it as of now. And I have an idea for another channel. I'm going to run it past Mike, Rick, Sarita, and Adriana. This channel I might need a little help with. But yeah, I had an idea for this channel for a while. So see if I can... Tommy, I did a review on Civil War last year. It's on the channel somewhere. It's on the channel. I did a whole thing on it. Yeah, let's go. My fasting started at 8 o'clock actually. So anyway, sorry. Let's get to it. So the Bondi Beach incident, guys, there's a lot of false flaggities with this thing, and not a lot, but there's a couple. Excuse me, there's a couple, not a lot. Let me walk that back. But the shooting in Australia left 15 people murked. It was a father and son duo team. The suspects we'll get into in a little bit. We'll get into who the suspects are in a little bit, but let's get with the story. All right, so a father-son duo opened fire on a crowd gathering at Sydney's Bondi Beach during a Jewish Hanukkah celebration. Police said 15 people were murdered in the worst shooting in Australia in almost 30 years. The 50-year-old father was killed at the scene while his 24-year-old son was critically injured in a hospital and is expected to face criminal charges. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the father was disarmed, so how was he killed at the scene, or why was he? Again, not that it matters, but I'm just curious as to what happened. About 40 people were hospitalized immediately following the attack. People were probably also having anxiety attacks and panics and all this other bullshit. That's why it was 40 people injured. And then you got people getting trampled on, including 2 police officers who are in serious but stable condition. Victims are between the ages of 10 and 87 years old. If I'm not mistaken, the 87-year-old, could the 87-year-old been a Holocaust survivor? Because they said it was a Holocaust survivor there, and 87 seems a little on the young side. Anyway, Police said 1,000 people had attended the targeted Jewish celebration, which was held in a small park off the beach. Witnesses said the attack at the famed beach, which was packed on a hot evening, lasted about 10 minutes, sending hundreds of people scattering along the sand and into the nearby streets. The attack, which occurred on the first day of Hanukkah, was declared a terrorist incident. Bingo. Terrorist incident. Sorry. Ed Lee, really? Ed Lee, if you can email me that, you can email me that link to angryprepper@yahoo.com. That would be greatly appreciated. I watched some video footages, but not like the entirety of it. So if you could, uh, JC says watch the video. That'd be cool. But anyway, the attack was occurred. Yeah. So anyway, and then it was on South Fair. We're gonna match it. So now keep in mind, guys, in Australia they have strict gun laws, and so not trying to be an asshole about it, but had somebody been strapped, they could have put this shit to bed minutes ago. So it lasted 10 minutes. They could have put it to bed within a minute. But when you have your citizens unarmed, scrambling for cover, waiting for the police to do something, when in fact the police were, as people put it, frozen in place because they didn't know what to do. They thank you for the heads up, Northern Hillbilly. They didn't know what to do. That's a problem. That's a problem. This is what happens when you disarm your citizens. This kind of shit. Because those shooters knew what they were doing. They knew that the police were going to respond in a slow manner. They knew that nobody from the public was going to respond. So they had time to get busy. When you keep your people strapped, that shit wouldn't have lasted that long. Now, yes, there's a ton of problems with having armed citizens fire back, right? There's fucking background, right? People running back and forth behind them. There's that. There's just friendly fire, if you will. There's a lot that can happen. But I can guarantee you that if your peoples are strapped, they could have put that shit to bed before it got to 15 people being killed. Right? It could have been 7 people killed. Could have been 10. It could have been 2. But this is what happens when you have people running around unarmed. And then you have the Australians go, we're not the Americans, we're not cowboys, we don't need to be armed. This is why you need to be armed. Because this is the kind of situation that doesn't happen often, but when it does, you're ready to rock and roll. Right? It's not like here in New York City. We don't have active shooter situations all the time here. We have them once in a blue. Once in a blue. But if you have it on you and you can rock, you're a rock star. Are you for Second Amendment in New York City? Absolutely. Lost. There was a lawsuit that was won allowing us to carry our firearms wherever we want in the city. In fact, the city tried to double down and tell us where we can and can't carry, and that got knocked. Now, of course, bars and I think public venues were on it, but they were trying to designate entire areas in New York City, the whole Times Square, Central Park. Like they were trying to like minimize where you can carry a firearm. And then the judge threw that out. It was like, nope, you're not doing that. So, of course, New York City is still scrambling as to what they're going to do about the two-way in the city. And right now, they're just handing out they're handing out licenses. Sorry, and that's it. I want to get mine. They said carrying a firearm in the city is trying to get a weapon in the city is a pain in the ass. Like trying to get the one I want. Like I can't get a 15 shot. I can't get a 15 round mag. Right? It has to be like, what is it, 9 or 7 or some shit like that here in New York City. All right, so no, I'm not going to read that. They're talking about some of the 15 victims were identified. There was a rabbi who was a father of 5, a Holocaust survivor that had to be the age 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old girl. The rabbi was 41. And that was pretty much it. I mean, they're gonna beat this drum now. We're gonna have to hear about this shit here in New York. And listen, I'm not trying to be a callous dick, but again, Australia created this fucking monster, and now they got to deal with it. And it just sucks. So, guys, the Bondi shooting suspects, what we know. Officials confirmed that it was a father and son duo that left 16 people dead. I think I said 15. I did read somewhere 16 earlier today. I think somebody else passed away in the hospital. The father, 50-year-old, a licensed firearm holder under Australian law for 10 years, was shot by police and died at the scene. He was unarmed. The son, 24, suffered critical injuries and was taken to a hospital under police guard. The NSW police commissioner, Mal, whatever the hell, Lanyon, added that the father was part of a gun club and licensed for 6 firearms. He said that officials are investigating whether they connected to the shooting. 2 improvised devices were found at the scene, which Lanyon said found to be active before they were seized and deactivated. I find it interesting, guys, that every time one of these incidents happen, there's always a device that wasn't used. I wonder if that's just jargon for, not jargon, but I wonder if that's just them stating, making the situation worse. Sorry. I want to know if that has something to do with it, because every last incident that's happened lately, there's all been a device in their car that was active or ready to use, or in their backpack left it down the block. Like, they always find a device after each one of these. That's why I'm like, this was staged. When I saw the whole device being left behind or active in the car, I'm like, they staged this. You mean to tell me every last shooter for the last 10 years, not every last, but a lot of them had a device that went boom in their car? Come on, man. I'm like, I'm not believing that shit. Not at all. Not even a little bit. This guy had it too. Like, wouldn't you use that first to confuse and scare people and then lay waste instead of the other way around? Bucky, I heard that they were IDF. I heard that out of the gates, but they're saying that they weren't. They're saying that they were Palestinian extremists. Who knows? And maybe, listen, Bucky, maybe they were IDF. Maybe they were IDF soldiers, and then, now they're trying to misdirect us to having us believe they were Palestinian supporters. Could be that, man. But I tell you this much. It smells like shit. This doesn't sound right. There's an image going on around the internet of a guy, yes, Northern Hillbilly, the guy with the bloody face. There's a picture of him getting makeup put on before the incident. And then somehow bullets are flying and he's taking a selfie of himself with a bloody face as it's going on. First of all, when you're injured, when you're truly injured, you're not going to take a selfie. You might take a selfie at the hospital. Look at me, I'm battered and bruised. Like, maybe. But not when this shit's flying, or even after the fact. You got blood running down your face. The last thing you're going to do is want to grab a selfie, especially in an incident like that. If you hurt yourself, you're in the woods, you did something stupid, maybe. You're probably most likely to do it. But not during an active situation. I'm just not buying it. Yes, it was definitely crisis actor kind of shit going on there. Do I want to completely say it was? No. I'm going to take a look at that video that Ed Lee was looking at, and now I'm making my determination from there. But there was a lot of fuckery with this. The way the firearm was wrestled away from the guy. I mean, listen, he was 50 years old. He was fat. He was out of shape. So it doesn't take much to take a weapon out of a guy's hand. But nonetheless, the weapon was drawn. And then the craziness about it is, like, the guy used his weapon. He got it taken away from him. He's like, oh, my God, And, like, what about his sidearm? That would have been the next thing that came out. But it didn't. So it was just a wild scene to watch. PAEMT. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right, but the AI has a distinct look. I'm still able to pick it out for now, especially when they talk. The AI has a voice problem, like a voice modification problem. It's weird. Bucky, yes, that guy said he was in October 7th attack. That old man was at the October 7th. They said the concert, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like, come on, man. Again, how much bullshit do they want us to believe? But here's the problem, guys. I'll say this 1,000 times. us on here, we're more skeptical of the shit that we see. So we are going to put up a little more of a fight in believing this shit. Everybody else, the masses, they're going to believe this shit, right? They're going to sit there and go, oh my God, did you see this? They'll believe it 1,000% of the times because they're retarded. A lot of people can't think for themselves. A lot of people don't want to think for themselves. A lot of people want to fit in and be loved and liked and all this other bullshit. So yeah, they want to be a part of that trend of whatever it is going on, right? If you stand your ground and you say some shit like, you know, fuck Trump, then you suffer from Trump deranged syndrome, right? TDA, TDS, is that it, right? Trump derangement syndrome. Like if you like fuck Trump, you have TDS. You know, like I'm like, come on. People do not have the capacity to think for themselves. They just don't. Anybody that follows these politicians saying that Trump's doing a great job, suck a mean black spike dick. Trump and every other politician under his control on the Democrat side, the independents, they're all fucking full of shit. You know, guys, that I was realizing the other day, this drug game, this drug thing that's going on in Venezuela is bullshit. You know that I, as a fireman, know where all the drug dealers are in the city for the most part. You know, between Washington Heights, Harlem, and my job, I know where they all are. But the cops can't make a move on them because they're building a case. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. There are kids being fucking passed around like blunts, and people are smoking them left and right. And you know, cops are like, we gotta build a case. You know, or they were like, well, you know, law doesn't allow us to do X, Y, and Z. Meanwhile, you steal some money from a bank and they're all over you and throwing federal charges at you. These people are full of shit. Thank you, Uptech. Appreciate it. You know, again, they're all full of shit. You want to help the system, you want to change the system, then go after the system. Go after saving the kids. Put the drugs to bed. Enough already. Grateful Prep, staged by whom and for what purpose? Let me enlighten you, my little New Jersey drunk. There's been a lot of anti Semitism going around. A lot. So, how do you get the people back on your side? Well, you stage an attack. Again, I'm not saying it was staged 100%. I'm just saying that's the tactic you would use to get people back on your side. You stage an attack where these people take their anger out, if you will, on the Jews, and then they start playing the anti-Semitism Pledge Allegiance to the world, and everybody starts buying in on this. Oh my God! Did you see what happened in Bondi Beach? We got to feel sorry for them. It's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. You know. Again, I don't know if that's true, but you know, I don't know if it was staged or not, but possibility is there, and that's one reason why you would do it. You know, now you got all these politicians here in the United States talking about anti-Semitism. This is wrong. There are African women and kids getting ass raped as we speak, getting annihilated, beheaded, bodies chopped, body parts chopped off, slowly, so that these guys can burn their body parts like logs of wood, keeping them alive while they do it. I might add, they do all of this. No one cares about them. They are currently being massacred, but yet somehow we got to feel sorry for the tiny hats. Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe that bullshit for a minute. Uh, Gnostic Nomad, exactly. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Listen, that's the real problem. You got real slaves going on in Saudi Arabia right now. They're capturing Africans and making them slaves again. But we're supposed to feel sorry for the tiny hats. Stop the bullshit. Again, Grateful Preps, you really need to fucking pull your head out of your ass or your vagina, whatever the hell you got to pull your head out of. But enough already. It's sickening that you people sit there and think he's doing a good job. What doing a good job looks like is stopping drugs, stopping kids from being kidnapped, stopping the nonsense that's harming actual people. Not some fucking once in a lifetime shooting in Australia. Does it suck that people died? Yeah, sure it does. But there are way worse matters going on around the world. Yeah, Sudan is one of them. Thank you, Nasara. And that's exactly my point. Yeah, they capture Mobutu, so I don't talk about him anymore. He's fucking in a cell somewhere, tap dancing on coal, some hot coal, if you will. And again, people don't want to look at Africa. They don't look at Saudi Arabia and what's going on there with the fucking slave bullshit. No, let's talk about the tiny hats and the anti-Semitism. There are way worse things going on than the anti-Semitism that the Jews are conjuring up in their heads. And even if it's to the level where they think it is, but it's not to where they think it is, it's still not as bad as what's going on in other parts of the world. Just isn't, man. Yeah, Gnostic Nomad. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why you could stop drug abuse, rather, or how to stop drug abuse. Absolutely, that is definitely one of them. But yeah, all of this bullshit, guys. Yeah, Trump was talking about he didn't Trump a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, say he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Dude, fuck you. Who says that? Who says that out loud? Like, oh man. Again, guys, it's all bullshit. People need to cut the shit seriously. Stop fucking, yanking on these politicians don't care about you. They're raising taxes and creating new taxes for us to pay. Yes, Hudson Valley. I saw the TV commercial about anti-Semitism, and they're like, "Oh, there's a commercial about retards." That's awesome. They got the retarded kids going, "Don't use the R word. It hurts my feelings." Okay, no, it doesn't. You don't care. Like most tards do not give a shit about the word retarded. First of all, you don't call a lot of, you don't call retards retards. You just look at them and go, oh man, I feel bad for them. You look at, you look at like dumb people doing stupid shit retarded. That's what it means. But somehow they got the tards on the TV show going, please leave me alone. It's hurtful to my feelings. Go eat some ice cream, kid. It'll be okay. You'll be fine. Go back to your Walmart door standing position. We got it under control. We're not calling you retarded. We're calling stupid people retarded. But anyway, that's they definitely. I saw that commercial. I was like, holy shit balls, dude. This went Gil was great on us. Gil was great. I tell you, I tell you one thing. Leonardo DiCaprio's role was so good. You know that after that role, people thought he was retarded in real life when they saw him on the street. Holy shitballs, dude! That was good. Special or mentally challenged? I wouldn't even call them mentally challenged because, like, slow people they have like this happiness about them. Like they don't give a shit. They play their Pokemon Go. They eat their ice cream. They overcome some of their challenges each day. And then they're just happy about it. Fucking retarded people like what's her name? AOC. That's retarded. She's actually the definition of retard. AOC. Danny Good. I'll look that up. The Bondi Beach being a false flag. I'll definitely look that up. That's up my alley. I'm not a big fan of Redacted, but because they're another bunch of like simps that bought into some bullshit. But whatever. I'll take a look at that video. But yeah, you know, again, people are getting carried away with this shit. Just getting carried away. Um, Too many people are getting offended over, for no reason, for bullshit. Wasn't he autistic in the movie? No, Kathy. He wasn't. He wasn't autistic. He was retarded. He was like the scene with the mother. The Kathy Avocito. See the movie. What's Eating Gilbert's great. It's an excellent fucking movie. It's one of my favorite movies, especially with Johnny Depp in it. But Leonardo DiCaprio's retarded role, the whole like the finger thing and he nailed it. He nailed it. I was like, he deserved the Academy Award. Did he get an Academy Award for that? I don't think he did, but he should have gotten one. Anyway, guys, I gotta head over to the Angry Truth channel. We're gonna talk about some shit that should scare a lot of people who took the alarm ticket. Anyway, guys, outside of that, I will see you guys in a couple of minutes on the Angry Truth channel. Thank you for joining me. I should be able to see you guys Thursday night. And yeah, man, see some of you guys later and see some of you guys tomorrow morning for the Wednesday midweek report. All right, guys, see you later.